Hello beautiful people and welcome to this video. Today we're working with the idea of releasing trapped emotions from the body. So you don't have to get into kind of feeling the emotions necessarily, unless that's something that just comes naturally and you feel like you want to go there. We're simply looking at opening these places with the intention of allowing the sort of energy of these emotions just to be released. So I'm going to suggest that you have a belt today, because we're going to be using a belt, and I like to sit up on a soft block like this because it really helps me to I just have the back of my bottom on it, and it just helps me to sit up really tall, and that's always really good. So we're going to imagine a beautiful thread drawing us up from the top of the head. We can have the eyes closed or the gaze lowered, just tuning into the breath. We're being gently pulled up by this thread, and then we can have another thread that's gently pulling us down, or roots that are going down into the earth as we just land here and prepare for our practice. So just a few breaths there. Beautiful. So we're going to start some little movements with the body. So we're just going to start with the head, just rolling the head round. Be careful as you get round to the back that you're not really crunching the muscles at the back. We're just going to take a couple of rolls all the way round one way, and then the next time you come to the front we can stop there, just let the head hang, and then we'll go back the other way. So just being really conscious of what's going on in the neck. So in the neck we can store anxiety and stress, and the shoulders of course. So we're going to come back up to our seated straight sitting up position here, and then we're going to bring one arm, it doesn't matter which one you do, and take the hand over onto the opposite ear, and then we can take the other arm out to the ground, and we're going to gently let the weight of that arm just gently pull the neck, the head over to open the side of the neck here, releasing any anxiety and stress and tension that we have there. Beautiful. And then we'll just go to the other side, so taking the hand over to the other side, just letting that down, couple of breaths there, feeling how that's opening the side of the neck, just releasing anything that needs to be released from there. Beautiful. Then we just come back to our neutral position for a moment, and then we're going to raise the arms up above the head, look between the hands, and we're going to take a twist. So we're taking opposite hand to knee, the other hand either onto the ground or into a bind behind you, whatever you want to do, looking to the side, inhaling, raising up with that thread drawing you up, and exhaling, looking behind you. Coming back round, we're going to bring the arms all the way up to the top again, looking between the hands, and exhaling down to the other side. So again, just doing what's right for you here, inhaling and then exhaling. We're going to do it again on both sides, so coming up through the centre, looking up between the hands, seeing what is in the neck and the shoulders there before we come down. Seeing as we exhale, if we can just release the tension. Inhaling as you rise up, exhaling, trying to twist and at the same time release. Coming back round, so any stress, anxiety that's in the head, the neck and the head and the shoulders, just having the intention, inhaling here, of releasing them on the exhale. Beautiful. And then we just come back round to the neutral position. So we're now going to come into doing some circles with the whole of the body, and this is really opening the hips and the top of the legs, or working the hips and the top of the legs. So you can have the hands on the knees. We're going to be coming around, coming all the way forward, taking big circles all the way back, all the way to the side and all the way to the front. So you can feel this probably in all sorts of different places in the body. This is really good for everything, but I'm trying to have an intention here to really focus on the tops of the legs and the hips here, because this is where so much emotion can be held. We'll go back the other way, because the hips, they're very big muscles, so they can really hold on to a lot of emotional stuff. So we can just have this intention to let go of anything that's in there. You know, the things that are meant to be in there are sadness and frustration and fear and worry. So we can just really drop that into the earth. So let's just take a big breath in, and we can exhale with a sigh. Maybe close the eyes and just feel the effects of your practice. Lovely. So from here we're going to drop the hands behind us onto the floor, and we're going to bring the feet out, knees bent, feet out, a nice wide width in front of you. And from here we're going to inhale, and then as we exhale we're going to drop both of the knees over to one side. Just let it go to wherever it goes. You'll feel this opening. Well, it might feel different for you. For me, it's the outside of this top hip. And then inhaling, coming up. So as I go down, I'm going to exhale and just allow any tension, just really asking whatever's in there to just be released into the earth. We'll come back and do that one side again each way. One time again each way, rather. Beautiful. So we're going to come back to the first side now, but this time we're going to drop down. We're going to bring this arm up and see if you can take that knee all the way to the earth, bringing this hand and actually putting it right behind you. And then we're going to raise this arm up and looking behind you. Now from here, only if it feels okay to you, we can take the weight into this leg and we can raise up and pushing the chest forward and the hips forward. Feel how that opens the front of that leg, opens the chest, dropping the head back. So we've got so many opportunities to just allow stuff to be released there. Coming back through centre, we'll go round to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to, this arm behind me, the other arm is raised up, and then only if it feels okay to you, otherwise stay low. I'm raising up on that leg, opening the chest, opening the hips, and then dropping back down. Beautiful. And we'll come back through our neutral position. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit more for the shoulders. So this is where, if you've got your belt, or it could be a dressing gown cord or whatever, just have it so it's a little bit wider than shoulder width. And we're going to bring it up and then see if we can bring it behind. You can bend the arms and just see if you can take it behind the head. If you can't, that's fine. Just if coming in front of the head feels really strong for you, then do that. If you can bring it behind, that's fine. And then from here we're going to slide the hands out a little way, but so that your elbows are still a bit bent. And then from here we're going to twist. So we're going to twist round one way and then coming back through centre and twist round the other way. Beautiful. So then from here I'm going to see if I can take my arms all the way behind you. If it feels too much, then just slide your hands down the belt a little bit and then coming back up. Oh, so don't do anything that feels too much, but I can really feel how that is opening the shoulders. So beautiful. And then we can just come back to our neutral position. Put your belt to the side. And we're now going to come over to all fours. So I like to really pad the knees with this soft block. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's just a suggestion. And I like to have hands out in front a little bit to make some space for the wrists. From here we're going to inhale, taking the spine to the floor and looking forward, seeing how this opens the whole of the front of the body. And then as we exhale, we're going to take the spine towards the ceiling. So we're really trying to see if we can push the navel up. Inhaling, spine to the floor, looking forwards, seeing how this really opens the front. So we're really stretching the muscles of the abdomen here. And then exhaling, seeing if we can really contract the muscles of the abdomen. So in the stomach, of course, is where we feel fear. This is where, you know, people really talk about having a gut feeling of fear. So we can just really, we don't have to go into it unless we want to, but just having an intention as we're going backwards and forwards from this to allow fear to be released. Beautiful. Then from here, we're going to just do some lovely organic movements here, just doing whatever's good for you. So it's just hands and knees that are staying in the same position, but all the rest of the body can do whatever it likes to. Just moving around, releasing anything that wants to be released, and then we're going to drop the feet out, the knees out wide, big toes together, and dropping down into the child. And you can have the hands under the head, or if it reaches easily, head onto the mat. And we'll do some big sighs out here. So from here, we're going to come into our toe squat. So I don't know what emotions are held in the toes, but all I know is that when I come up here into my toe squat, it feels very intense, particularly on one foot. So it's really good to make sure you're looking after yourself. If it feels too much, you can always come up to high kneeling like this and just take some weight into the toes, because I know for some people it's just excruciating. So just working with what's okay for you and seeing if you can try and relax a little bit into the toes. And we don't know what's stored in the toes, it might be anything, but we're just having a beautiful sense of releasing into the earth. And then from here we're going to come into our dog. So we're going to take the hands forward, sun ray fingers, coming back up through all fours, toes are tucked, lifting up the bottom, keeping the knees really bent. And then what we can do is we can come up onto the tiptoes, so we're doing like a dog toe squat, and then we can see if we can release the heels down, still keeping the knees a little bit bent. And then as we exhale, dropping. So you're trying to drop the chest down towards the knees, keeping the arms as straight as you can. And then we'll just do a little bit of walking the dog. So one heel goes down, stretching out the back of the hamstring. And then swapping. So legs are so important for moving forward in life. And we can really store a sense of stuckness. You know, people who are depressed, they quite often have a really stuck feeling in the legs. So we can just have an intention again for releasing the legs. We're going to be doing a bit more legs. And then we can straighten the legs a little bit more. Couple more breaths here. Beautiful. And then we're going to walk the hands towards the feet, feet towards the hands, getting anything out of the way that's in the way. Coming into your standing forward bend. Now you might be up here, this might be as much as you can do, and that's fine. If you are here, just see if you can let go of the head. If you've got more flexibility, keeping the legs nice and bent, dropping the head down. You can take opposite hands onto elbows if that suits, having a little swing. Wonderful. And then from here, we're going to turn around
to face the long edge of the mat, still keeping low, and we're going to bring the feet out to this beautiful wide-legged standing forward bend. Now again, you might be up here, and if that's the case, that's fine, but just see if you can drop the head to allow the muscles of the back to be released. If you've got more movement, dropping down, the hands might come behind, they might come onto the ankles, just doing whatever's right for you. And we're going to take a big exhale and drop down, really feeling how this is opening the insides of the legs here. So if you have stuckness, if you feel like your life isn't moving forward, this is a really good place to rest. And then from here, just to take it a little bit further, we can bend one leg and see if we can walk the hands over a little bit the other way. So I'm keeping the other foot on the ground, and this is just opening here, and it's also doing a bit on the outside of the bottom of this leg. It might be doing something completely different for you. So just whatever's happening, being with that. Beautiful. And then we're going to come back to the centre, staying in this position, but we're going to come up so that we're in a like an L shape here, taking one hand in just below the face, it doesn't matter which one, and we're going to twist here. So again, this is opening all sorts of places, shoulders, legs, back, neck, everywhere, and then dropping down. And we're going to twist the other way. Beautiful. And then from here, we can heel toe the feet together till they come to hip width apart, bending the knees, and then we can just find our way up to standing. And I'm going to have to move my camera. So here we are, standing in our Tadasana. So let's make sure that feet are directly underneath the hips. We can roll the shoulders back a bit to make sure we're standing up nice and tall. Give the arms a shake, drop the hands down. And we'll just take a couple of breaths here, looking slightly down. Feeling yourself raising up with that thread again from the top of the head and rooting down as well. So we're going to do a bit of swinging from side to side here, just letting the arms gently flop against the body. And then coming back to stillness. And then we'll just do a little bit of balance. It's always good to include a little bit of balance. So you can always have the arms outwards, coming up onto the tip toe. And then if you can have a chair as well if you need to. And you can just roll the ankle around if that's good for you, one way and then the other. We'll come and do that on the other side. So we're just mobilising the ankles a little bit. And then we're going to come and do a little side bend. So raising one arm up, it doesn't matter which one you do. The other arm is going to be against the body, here, against the sort of fatty bit of the leg. And then we're going to, so we literally feel as if we're pushing the hips out the other way, coming into a side bend. Make sure you don't not coming forward like this, because that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to open up the side here, looking forwards. And then come the other way. So hands going back around the other way and coming into this side bend the other way. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to do a bit more with the legs now. We're going to do some leg raising. Now this might sound easy, but it's actually really quite intense. It works the tops of the legs, but it also works around here as well. So you can, I'm just turning to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So we can have hands on the waist here. And so we just take the weight over into one foot, it doesn't matter which one you do. And we're going to try and see if we can just raise the foot, the leg, up and keeping it straight
Just see how far you can raise it up before it becomes really intense. So it might be that you're there, and that's absolutely fine. And then from here, we're going to try and just breathe. So see if you can just breathe naturally. It might be that you need to hold onto a wall or a chair or something. Just doing whatever you need to do. And then bring that leg down. So that probably feels quite intense. We'll do the other side. And also it might be that you're much more wobbly. You see, I felt it immediately, so I said it. It might be that you feel much more wobbly on one side than the other, and that's fine. So just see if you can try and remember to breathe here. Let's go back and do the other side. And also I was aware how I was leaning back a bit then. So it's really important to see. Oh, and also the standing leg shouldn't be locked. It's soft knee as you're raising that. So it's much easier for me on this side. I'm really aware of that. So trying to keep, she says, falling over, trying to keep your balance, gently holding on if you need to, and also trying to see, you know, it's quite intense holding the leg here, but see if you can try and be as relaxed as you can, shoulders relaxed, beautiful, coming back down, and then coming down. So this is strengthening rather than stretching really, isn't it? Beautiful. Lovely, so to release that, we can come and do a little dance. Let's do a little dance, releasing those muscles of the leg. Beautiful. So the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to work with the chair. Now this is also known as awkward pose, and it works muscles in the legs, in the low back, in the shoulders, everywhere. It's an amazing pose, very, very intense. So only do what you can, but we can just think about the releasing of emotions. So we've got low back is seen as, you know, people who are finding it really hard to feel supported. So people who are feeling unsupported, which is a sense of, well, it's probably actually a sense of anger, isn't it, of not being met, you know. So we've got that there, we've got fear in the tummy. Up here we've got like anxiety and stress. You know, so there are various different places. I'm going to turn to the side again. So we're going to come from our Tadasana. We're going to bend the knees, just bending them as far as you can, but still trying to keep the body straight and upright at the moment. And then we bring the arms. Let's start by bringing the arms just out in front. Beautiful. And then from here, taking the weight into the heels and see if you can sit down. Or be as if you were going to sit down. So this is already feeling awkward. And then from here, we're going to see if we can raise the arms up and look between the hands. Now, you may not look exactly like me, but as long as you're doing your best, that's all anybody can ask. And then from here, we're going to take it into a twist. So we're going to bring the hands together, bring them down to the heart space, and then from here, we're going to try and turn, not the legs, try and keep the legs in exactly the same position, but we're going to try and turn the body to one side and trying to keep the hands in where the chest is, and see if you can rotate the chest round without moving the legs. Yeah, and you can really feel that. Then we come back through chair. If you need a rest, have a rest, but if you can go straight back through chair, take a couple of breaths there, and then we'll do it on the other side. So hands coming together into the heart space, and then we'll turn to the other way, trying to keep the legs in exactly the same position. Beautiful. Breathing here. See how far around you can take the twist. And then we'll come back through chair again. Well done, you're doing fantastically. And then we'll raise up and find our way back to our Tadasana. Well done. Okay, so come back down into a nice comfortable seated position, and I'm going to give you the instructions for a breathing technique, and I'm going to suggest that you turn off your video, do the technique, and then turn it on again and carry on. So, finding a nice comfortable position, closing the eyes or lowering the gaze, bringing the awareness into the nose, feeling the cool air moving in, warm air moving out. And then I'm going to simply invite you to bring a count into the inhale. So it could be a count of 4 or 6 or 8. And then being aware of the tiny pause at the top. And then as you exhale, taking the same count coming out. And then once you've established that, I'm going to invite you then to bring, only if you want to, a retention. That means holding the breath in at the top, holding the breath in the lungs at the top, and then holding the lungs empty at the bottom for half the count of the inhale and exhale. So do that for me for a few minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then come back, turn the video on again, and we will come into our counter poses. Great, so from your breathing practice, which hopefully you enjoyed, we're going to come over into a lie down position, into semi-supine. I'm going to invite you to bring the right knee up into the chest. Take the other foot long, take the hand onto the outside edge of that knee, and we're going to come over into this beautiful supine twist. So if that feels too much, you can always just have the foot down somewhere else. But if it feels okay to do that, and we're going to look over the other arm, taking a couple of breaths there. And then we'll come back through centre, bring both knees up into the chest, have a little bit of a rock. And then we'll take the other leg long and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So rolling over, looking over the other arm. Wonderful, and then from here you can do whatever you like. You might like to come up into a happy baby if that suits you. Do a little rock around, or there might be something else you might want to do. But once you've done that, just gathering yourself up and bringing yourself down into your Shavasana here. So feet out about mat width apart, arms on the ground beside you, a little bit away, palms facing up, closing the eyes or lowering the gaze, and just stay here for as long as feels good for you. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your support. If you really want to support me, you can give me a like, you can subscribe to my channel, and if you really want to support me, you could make a donation, and you can do that by contacting me with the email that's either at the beginning or end of the video. Thank you so much. Namaste.